For what it's worth, Len told him, I'm rather appreciative of your moral stance on the subject, under the circumstances. Albigard let out a harsh, stifled noise. It's a moot point now, anyway. With my magic gone, you're as free as any human can be, while incarcerated in a jail cell in Daheim, at any rate. And you're still really bad at reassurance, Len retorted. But I'm keeping your stupid hair tie anyway. So there. Albigard's gift, a little strip of cotton fabric torn from the prisoner's garb he'd been wearing, had been clenched in Len's fist when the Fae portaled them out of the dead pocket realm, whisking them away to safety in Chicago. Later, he'd stuffed it in the pocket of his jeans without giving the action too much thought. A meaningless gesture, probably. But it was still there, sharing space with the energy bars Vani had pressed on him when he and Albigard had left Earth and traveled through the gateway to the Fae realm. Before Albigard could come up with any sort of reply to Len's outburst of sentimentality, a large patch of the tree trunk wall to their right began to glow orange. What the hell? Len breathed, instinctively turning to place his body between the unknown danger and the helpless man behind him. A subsonic vibration hummed through the air, setting Len's teeth on edge. I do not know, Albigard replied, in the tone of someone who was already running close to capacity when it came to unexpected plot twists. Len pressed his back against Albigard's front as the vibration became bone-rattling, steadying himself with a palm against the rough surface of the wall. The wood shuddered and creaked beneath his hand. Meanwhile, the glow intensified until it was hard to look at, and he was forced to turn his face away. A second later, the affected section of the tree trunk exploded inward, peppering them with bits of wood. Normally, Len would have yelped in shock, but at this point his shock receptors seemed to be pretty thoroughly burned out. When a figure in silhouette stepped through the brand-new, person-sized hole in the side of the tree, Len wasn't nearly as surprised as he should have been to recognize the dreadlocked female Fae who'd slipped out of the court hearing just as he and Albigard were being dragged away. "Oh," he said stupidly. "It's you. Hello." A second, taller figure stepped through the gap, male but wearing the same kind of rough, primitive clothing as the woman. The pair was the polar opposite of the other bejeweled and buttoned-up Fae Len had seen since arriving here. They looked wild, uncivilized. The woman gave Albigard a quick once-over, not sparing Len much more than a fleeting glance. "He's bound," she said to her companion. "Free him quickly. Guards will be coming." "Wait, you're busting us out of here?" Len asked. "Why?" "Stand aside, human," said the male Fae. Len didn't move from his protective crouch. "Albigard?" he asked. "It's your call. Yes or no?" "I have no doubt that if you do not move out of the way voluntarily, they will remove you by force," Albigard replied dryly. "And in fairness, I'm not certain our circumstances can really get any worse than they currently are." Len winced. "You know, one of these days you and I need to have a talk about the concept of tempting fate." Even so, he moved out of the way beneath the male Fae's severe look before making another attempt to get information. "At least tell us who you are before you kidnap us?" The male crouched, running his hands over the space a few inches from Albigard's body. After a few moments of concentration, he clapped one hand to Albigard's forehead and the other to his chest. Coils of light flared across Albigard's body. He jerked as though he'd been shocked, and slumped forward when the light disappeared, free of his bonds. Well, free except for the iron collar and shackles, anyway. Len hurried to catch him before he could land face first in the dirt. He helped Albigard stagger to his feet, even though Len's own legs weren't feeling much steadier than his companions appeared to be. "Seriously," Len said. "Answer the question, damn it. Who are you?" The woman gave him a tight smile that came nowhere near her eyes. "We are the Forsaken," she said, "and we must leave before guards descend on the dead forest in force."
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.